Walk with me as we continue our journey through 2nd Baruch. We're picking up in chapter 30. And it shall come to pass after these things, when the time of the advent of the Messiah is fulfilled, that he shall return in glory. Then all who have fallen asleep in hope of him shall rise again, and it shall come to pass at that time that the treasuries will be opened, in which is preserved the number of souls of the righteous, and they shall come forth. And a multitude of souls shall be seen together in one assemblage of one thought. And the first shall rejoice, and the last shall not be grieved. For they know that the time has come, of which it is said that it is the consummation of the times. But the souls of the wicked, when they behold all these things, shall then waste away the more. For they shall know that their torment has come, and their perdition has arrived. It's the end of chapter 30. Before we move on to chapter 31, I'll just say that when it's happening, both sides will know. I believe that we are presently in this time because both sides know. The people who ride with the Most High, they know what's happening, and they are actually kind of rejoicing at the crumbling of this thing that's holding them down. And the other side, they know because the thing that they propped up so high is crumbling. They know it's the time of their perdition. They know that joint is run out. I say that to say, don't expend too much on trying to argue and convince. Because deep down, whether you're on one side or the other, you know. You know what's happening. And if you don't know, you're just a bystander. And it's just going to overtake you as if you did know. Chapter 31. And it came to pass after these things, that I went to the people and said unto them, Assemble unto me all your elders, and I will speak words unto them. And they all assembled in the valley of Kidron. And I answered and said unto them, Hear, O Israel, and I will speak to you. And give ear, O seed of Jacob, and I will instruct you. Forget not Zion, but hold in remembrance the anguish of Jerusalem. For lo, the days come when everything that is shall become the prey of corruption, and be as though it had not been. It's the end of chapter 31. We're in that time where everything that was is as it had not been. We're now remembering everything that was. We're getting to the tail end of the time of it being where everything that was had not been. It's a beautiful thing to remember. Chapter 32, verse 1. But as for you, if you prepare your hearts so as to sow in them the fruits of the law, it shall protect you in that time in which the Mighty One is to shake the whole creation. Because after a little time, the building of Zion will be shaken in order that it may be built again. But that building will not remain, but will again after a time be rooted out, and will remain desolate until the time. And afterwards, it must be renewed in glory and perfected forevermore. Therefore, we should not be distressed so much over the evil which has now come as over that which is still to be. Verse 6. For there will be a greater trial than these two tribulations when the Mighty One will renew his creation. And now, do not draw near to me for a few days, nor seek me till I come to you. And it came to pass, when I had spoken to them all these words, that I, Baruch, went my way. And when the people saw me setting out, they lifted up their voice and lamented and said, To where are you departing from us, Baruch? And are you forsaking us as a father who forsakes his orphan children and departs from them? That's the end of chapter 32. So he said, the building of Zion will be shaken in order that it may be built again, but that building will not remain. So it was shaken once, rebuilt, and then it was shaken again. The consummation of the times is the rebuilding of Zion, the renewing of the creation. Those who will be protected through this will see everything. But notice, you have to be protected through this. This is not something that men will have the power to control. You don't have to say so. Whatever skills you have, whatever you save up, whatever resources you have, like none of that will come into play. This is strictly about faith in the Creator. Anybody playing any other game will fail. Chapter 33, verse 1. Are these the commands which your companion Jeremiah the prophet commanded you, and said unto you, Look to this people till I go, and make ready the rest of the brethren in Babylon, against whom has gone forth the sentence that they should be led into captivity? And now, if you also forsake us, it were good for us all to die before you, and then you should withdraw from us. Stay in chapter 33. But people were terribly sad that Baruch was leaving, and they literally took it as death, saying, if you withdraw from us, it's better that we all die right here before you leave. Because without you, we're as good as dead anyway. Chapter 34. And I answered and said unto the people, Far be it from me to forsake you or to withdraw from you, but I will only go unto the Holy of Holies to inquire of the Mighty One concerning you and concerning Zion. If in some respect I should receive more illumination, and after these things I will return to you. Stay in chapter 34. We basically said, I ain't going nowhere. And I'm going to ask questions of the Creator on your behalf. Calm down. Chapter 35, verse 1. And I, Baruch, went to the holy place, and sat down upon the ruins, and wept, and said, Oh, that mine eyes were springs, and mine eyelids a fount of tears. For how shall I lament for Zion? And how shall I mourn for Jerusalem? Because in that place where I now prostrate, of old the high priest offered holy sacrifices, and placed thereon an incense of fragrant odors. And now our glorying has been made unto dust, and the desire of our soul into sand. Chapter 36, verse 1. And when I had said these things, and fell asleep there, and I saw a vision in the night, and lo, a forest of trees planted on the plain, and lofty and rugged rocky mountains surrounded it. And that forest occupied much space. Verse 3. And lo, over against it arose a vine, and from under it there went forth a fountain peacefully. Now that fountain came to the forest, and was stirred into great waves, and those waves submerged that forest. And suddenly they rooted out the greater part of that forest, and overthrew all the mountains which were round about it. And the height of the forest began to be made low, and the top of the mountains was made low, and that fountain prevailed greatly, so that it left nothing of that great forest save one cedar only. Verse 6. Also, when it had cast it down, it had destroyed and rooted out the greater part of that forest, so that nothing was left of it, nor could its place be recognized. Then that vine began to come with the fountain in peace and great tranquility, and it came to a place which was not far from that cedar, and they brought the cedar which had been cast down to it. And I beheld, and lo, that vine opened its mouth and spoke, and said to that cedar, Art you not that cedar which was left of the forest of wickedness, and by whose means wickedness persisted, and was wrought all of those years, and goodness never? And you kept conquering that which was not yours, and to that which was yours you did never show compassion, and you did keep extending your power over those who were far from you, and those who drew near you. You did hold fast in the toils of your wickedness, and you did uplift thyself always as one that could not be rooted out. Verse 9. But now, your time has sped, and your hour is come. Do you also therefore depart, O cedar, after the forest which departed before you, and become dust with it, and let your ashes be mingled together. And now recline in anguish, and rest in torment, till your last time come, in which you will come again, and be tormented still more. It's the end of chapter 36. Basically, this is a vision of the forest. I'm sure later in our journey we'll get the interpretation, but just from reading it, I definitely start to draw connections. But I would only speak on the time of the evil tree that was left over from the forest of wickedness. He said you did uplift yourself as one that could not be rooted out. But now your time has sped and your hour is come. This all lends to why I believe we're presently in the consummation of the times. Because time has definitely sped. Time is flipping by. We're hitting weekends in what feels like 3 or 4 days now. The clocks aren't reflecting a change in time, and I don't really understand how it happens, but it's happening. Chapter 37. And after these things, I saw that cedar burning, and the vine growing itself all around it, the plain full of unfading flowers, and I indeed awoke and arose. That's the end of chapter 37. And we're going to end our journey here for this time. Next time we'll be picking up in 38, getting an interpretation of the vision of the forest, the vine, the fountain, and the cedar.